Here are two rusty shovels. I de-rusted them and painted them. If you want to see how I did that, follow this short little video and I will show you the process that I took in doing this rust removal. A few days ago, I took two products and I soaked one in the product, and I soaked one in this product, and I soaked some stuff in this product. It's products I use here in my shop, and I want to show you the process of how I did that. Follow along. Join me as I share stories of my life as a kid, bringing junk home and turning it into something useful. Fact is, I'm still doing this today at age 69. Okay, a few days later, and I want to wrap up today this test that I'm doing on rust removal on these two shovels. I was trying out two other products. If you remember this product right here, let's see how this worked. And one, I just put it on, the other, I left it in. Now I'm going to pull both of them out here, and I want to show you. Here's the one that I just put the product on. Now take a close look at that, and you can see that it turned the rust a real dark color. And if I scratch on that, I can tell that that product has stabilized the rust. And that's this product again, has stabilized rust in a way that I'm pretty certain I could put a primer over that and that would last for years. The thing that I don't like is that it still leaves the surface somewhat rough. So if I was restoring this to look fairly good or almost new condition, I would want to either sandblast that rust off, take it over to my wire wheel and smooth that up some, because I wouldn't want to just paint over that rough surface. Now on a frame for a vehicle where you're just trying to get it where you could get a good paint job on it, where it wouldn't matter if it's a little rough or not, I think this would work just fine. Or any place that you're rust proofing where it's not going to show, this would work great. This is how I put it on dry, and trying not to get this over everything. This is wet. And I don't know if you remember, previously there was a lot of rust stuck down in these crevices. That has all disappeared. But I definitely liked it better when I just put the product on and let it dry and transformed the rust that way. Having it soaked like this means I have to let this dry now for a couple hours to see what it looks like. But I'm going to take a wild guess and say that that's going to look similar to this. I am going to go ahead and clean both of these up, put a primer on it, and put a nice finish on it, and add it to my collection over here. I don't know if you can see it or not, but all this collection right here that I've been working on. And once I get that done with this, that'll probably, I think it'll conclude my series on what's the best rust proofer. Other than I did put some stuff in here with this product, and I want to see how that's working. But to do that, I'm going to come down in here and I'm going to pour this product. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to pour this product in here to get it to expose my pieces that I put in here. And we're going to see how that turned out. So there we go. And I guess all I did was put these latches in there. Quite honestly, I don't see much different in this, much of a difference in these from what they were previously. This one that has paint on it, I'd either have to strip that paint off or, hey, wait a minute. That's interesting. I just rubbed my finger over it and that paint is softened up to the point where with a little brush, it's coming right off. So, well, that's interesting. I didn't realize that would do that, but you can see how that paint is coming off, and that's with the evaporust. So I think if I just brush this paint off of these two, clean them up just a little bit with a wire wheel or wire brush, that those would be ready for finish, because I honestly think that the rust has been neutralized and taken off. But I want to get them dried up, cleaned up, and get the residue off. Not those products, but also these shovels. And then I'm going to take them over to my wire wheel, clean them up a little bit, get them looking good, and then what I'll do is I plan to prime them, or with my Rust-Stoium Rough Primer that I've used in this shop and shared numerous times on this channel, and then put some kind of a finish. I'm thinking a flat black or maybe even a gloss black, because that's probably the color these shovels were. I might have to go buy that, but that's all right. And I will bring you along for that process, and then we can conclude this series on removing rust from rusty stuff, products, what have you. So let me get this set up and get back to you in just a little bit. Okay, I got one of these cleaned up and I wanted to show it to you here. So you see this? It's nice and shiny. It actually cleaned up pretty good on the wheel. I spread this somewhat to get this cleaned out. And now I'm going to set it up over here. Well, before I do that, I want to pound a couple of the dents out of it. But I'm going to set it up over here and give it a coat of primer. And I'll show you what it ends up with. Now the difference between the two, if you remember right, look at that. That's quite a difference. So there you have it. I'll clean this one up on the wire wheel too before I paint it. So just hang on a few more minutes and we'll have this one done. Yeah, I'm back here again. I got this one somewhat cleaned up. It still shows a little rust in here. And I'm going to go at it and tell you what I'm going to do with this one. I'm going to heat it up a little bit because it feels like it's got a residue on it. And I'm going to heat it up with my torch a little bit and see if I can't get that residue out of the pores of the metal. But with this one, I'm going to put a high temperature ceramic paint on it directly, no primer. The other one over there you can't see, I'll walk over here and show it to you, is this one right here. I just put a regular rust proofing primer on it, and it's called Rust Reformer from Rust-Stoium. And I want to see how both of these turn out. Not that I'm ever going to use them again, and I'm really not sure why I'm putting so much effort and time into an old junky rusty shovel, but it keeps this old man out of trouble in his shop, and I hope it's entertaining for you. So let me get this here, paint it, and then I'll come back into you and bring both of them and show you the finished products, and we'll wrap this up. Well, I believe I got this done. I went ahead and I finished cleaning these things up, put some paint on it. It's still kind of shiny, so they're a little wet. I'm going to set them over here with the rest of my stuff. I cleaned this up right here. What this is, this would have went on an old window, and it was a grip that you could grab to lift the window up with. It wasn't uncommon at all to see decorative piece like that on a window. This one's actually in really good shape. Then this old hinge, I went ahead and painted it, and the pins moves. Now the only thing with this hinge here is you see this castle part right here. There was another blank one that went into bottom here that's missing on this old hinge. But a lot of the old homes that we worked on and restored, they would have had hinges on the doors like this. Probably why I have this one. I used to save all the old discarded parts so we could use them if we had one that would break. These break very easily. They're cast. I didn't paint the back side. You can see what that looks like. This is 4x4, which means it's a 4-inch by 4-inch hinge. Very common on older houses and commercial buildings. Now what you've been waiting for is these two old shovels. You remember what these shovels looked like from the beginning. I've got to say they turned out pretty nice. This one has a hole in it right there, so it's been used or somebody touched it with something. This one here has a 2000-degree ceramic paint on it. This one right here has my Rust-Oleum rust converter paint on it. The paint that takes the heat probably is best because this is used to scoop ashes out from underneath the stove. So put them into your ash bucket to carry out and to throw out in a lane where the ice is in the wintertime so it melts down to the stone. A lot of times they use that ash to put under their tires to get traction in the wintertime. I don't know what I'm going to do with this stuff, but I'm going to set it here with the rest of my stuff. And I want to bring you in and just show you everything that I have here. So come with me. I hope you can see that all right. Oh, by the way, that saw, there's one that I worked on here a couple months ago. That was a real challenge, but it's running good now. You see all this stuff here was all that rusty junk that I pulled out of that old hardware store. I finally got everything cleaned up the way I want to clean it up, and I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but we'll figure it out here. Now, the thing with this rusty junk is I brought it up so that I could share with you different techniques that I use in my shop to tackle rust issues on old pieces of tools, whatever you're working on. And I gave several different products. I showcased them, and that's in another video. If I think about it, I'll put a link in the description, or I'll link this video to that. But for today, we're going to call this project complete. I hope you enjoyed watching what I've had to share with you. If you have any comments, comment. I would love to hear your comments. I respond to those comments. I share other videos that I think you may be interested in to those who comment. Not all the time. I don't want to overdo it. But comment below. Like my videos. Subscribe to my channel. I'll keep doing this as long as I can. I've been waking up more and more with pains. But here's the question that I present to you today. Can it be fixed? Yes, it can. Can you fix it? You're darn right you can. Until the next one.